All right, everybody, I'm Logan Alec, and this is my stimulus update for Thursday, June 25th. Before I get into today's update, let me just give you a recap of what we know so far about another round of stimulus checks, a state of the stimulus, if you will. We know that President Donald Trump supports another round of stimulus checks. He has said as much in various news clip interviews that I have showed you right here on the channel both this week and last week. We also know that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, when asked last week if another round of stimulus checks would be more targeted, appeared to imply that it would not be more targeted, meaning that it would go to the same people who got a stimulus check the first time around. However, Senate Republicans are in disagreement, or many Senate Republicans appear to be in disagreement with both Mnuchin and Trump on these points. Many Senate Republicans have flat out said they do not want another round of stimulus checks. I told you what some of them said yesterday. Others have said, as well as other White House officials like Larry Kudlow have said, maybe a second stimulus check will happen, but it would be more targeted only to those most in need. Okay, so there appears to be some division right now between the White House and Senate Republicans, as well as potentially even within the White House itself, with people like Larry Kudlow perhaps being open to or thinking that another round of stimulus checks will happen, but only if it's more targeted. Okay. Meanwhile, congressional Democrats appear to be fully supportive of another round of stimulus checks, with some exceptions like Senator Ben Cardin, as I've spoken about previously here on the channel. But you got to remember something, folks. You don't need every senator on board to pass a bill. Okay, you only need a simple majority. That means 51 out of 100. Right now, in the Senate, there are 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, and 2 independents. Angus King of Maine and Bernie Sanders of Vermont are both independents, but they tend to vote with the Democrats, okay, on issues. So think about it. Let's say, and this is just speculation, okay? I'm just creating a scenario for you to make a point. Let's say Democrats and Republicans, let's say it's next month, July 20th, Senate's back in session, okay? Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats come to an agreement on another stimulus bill, okay? And it includes another round of stimulus checks, okay? And let's say all the Democrats as well as the 2 independents support this bill. So that's 45 Democrats plus 2 independents, 47. They would only need 4 Republicans, okay, to get to that 51 senators requirement, simple majority, for that bill to go to the president for a signature, okay, and to become law. All right? So if there are only 4 Republicans, right, who support this bill that includes another round of stimulus checks, and all the Democrats and all the independents support it, right, and assuming the House has approved it as well, that it'll go to the president for signature, all right? And we know that based on what we've seen so far, that the president seems more gung-ho about another round of stimulus than many Republican senators, all right? So just because Republican senators are saying things, right, about, hating on another round of stimulus checks, doesn't mean it's not going to happen, okay? Because remember, you don't need every senator to approve something, right? You only need a simple majority, 51 out of 100. So please keep that in mind, all right? Okay, now let us get into the updates for today. So a week from today is a very important date. July 2nd, that's next Thursday, a week from today, is when the Department of Labor will be releasing the June jobs report. That's when it's scheduled to be releasing the June jobs report, okay? This document, this report, I believe, will be pivotal in framing the next relief bill, okay? I believe that if it's overwhelmingly positive, right? If it's, May was better than expected, if June is better than expected as well, it could really dampen hopes of another round of stimulus, okay? Or at least another round of significant stimulus, including stimulus checks, okay? If the June jobs report is gloomy, okay, I think that, prospects look a little bit better for another round of stimulus checks, okay? I think a lot of folks in Congress will be looking at this report, digesting the data, and it will inform their thought process on the next relief bill, okay? I will be going over the jobs report as soon as it comes out right here on the channel next Thursday, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Because remember, jobs report comes out July 2nd, a week from today. Senate is back in session July 20th. Okay, but then Congress leaves town for that big August recess, that big summer recess on August 7th. Okay, so they don't have a lot of time to get things done, quite frankly. Just a little over 2 weeks, right? That's not a lot of time. Okay, so if anything is going to be happening and I hope it does. If anything is going to be happening before September, it's going to happen at the end of July. Okay. Of course, all eyes will be on the Senate at that point. Okay. Speaking of unemployment, the weekly unemployment claims data came out this morning. 1,480,000 unemployment benefit claims for the week ending June 20th. That is down from 1,540,000 claims for the previous week. That's only a 60,000 decrease. Okay, so remember the unemployment claims, weekly unemployment claims, they peaked at like 7 million in March, right? And then there were like sharp declines, right? But then for the past few weeks, it's been hovering around 1.5 million unemployment claims, right? So the number of unemployment claims hasn't continued that sharp downward trend. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Anyway, you know, the jobs report that comes out a week from today will give the comprehensive picture, but I just find that very interesting. That maybe there's a halt in the reopening, right? We know that some states that were previously very gung-ho about reopening in response to the massive surge in cases in some parts of the country are scaling back those reopenings, right? You've probably seen those headlines, okay? When did Trump say? Trump was asked earlier this week when another round of stimulus checks would be announced, right? Oh, he said probably in a few weeks, right? Probably in a few weeks means maybe after that jobs report comes out, okay? That's just speculation, but I don't know if that was just kind of a whatever answer, or if he was actually keeping in mind the jobs report, right? So regardless, I think that Trump's motivation for another round of stimulus checks is more politically motivated than strictly, just data-driven, right? Because it's an election year, okay? Now, nevertheless, even with coronavirus surging, okay, fewer Americans today believe that we're currently in a recession or depression than did last month. Last month, in mid-May, 75% of Americans thought the economy was in a recession or depression. Okay. Gallup poll released today that only 59% of American adults say the economy is in a depression or recession. That's down 16%. Not 60%. That's down 16 points from the 75% figure in mid-May. So overall, it seems Americans are looking a little bit more hopeful about the economic recovery, okay? But maybe these recent surges in coronavirus cases will affect that. In my home state of California, I think we had reported over 7,000 new cases yesterday, okay? Shattering our previous record, all right? This is still a very scary thing, and I hope that Congress keeps that in mind. In other stimulus news, 15 Democratic senators wrote a letter yesterday to Secretary Mnuchin and IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig, basically complaining about the stimulus debit cards. Okay, they say, we are concerned that the decision to issue some stimulus payments via debit card has issued unnecessary burdens, including fees, on individuals who would have preferred to receive their stimulus payments by check, and that the process of activating these prepaid debit cards requires individuals to prove personal information that could be shared with third parties for marketing and other commercial purposes. All right. If you are still waiting for that stimulus debit card, please keep in mind that you may have accidentally thrown it away. Okay, and we've talked about what to do in that situation here on the channel. I will put a link above my head to that video if you missed it. All right. All right. One last thing here: coronavirus scams. Yesterday in a conference, Tanya Ugoretz, the Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI Cyber Division, said that already in the first or second week of June, okay, the FBI Cyber Division has had as many complaints up to this point as they did for all of 2019, okay, for all types of internet fraud. She said for coronavirus-related scams, the FBI has received at least 20,000 complaints. All right, so scammers are still out there, folks. Be very wary of anyone who asks you for information about your tax refund or your stimulus check or anything like that. All right, everybody, that is my stimulus update for today. I will be making additional videos today with some other news, financial news, not directly related to stimulus, but related to taxes and some other stuff, so please stay tuned for that. Also, yesterday afternoon, I released a video on this new travel tax credit that was just proposed this week. This is different than the Explore America tax credit that we've been hearing about for the past few weeks. This one's new. This one is just newly proposed this week, okay? I made a video about it. You can check it out right here and see what would be in store for you if that passes, all right? And my read is that this one appears to be a little more generous than that supposed Explore America tax credit that we still haven't seen a bill for. All right, so check out the video. Stay tuned for more videos later today, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.